lose again. That's 2 in a row now. They lost against Charlotte last night. The Charlotte Bobcats beat the defending world champions, Boston Celtics. Listen, the Boston Celtics are getting bored right now, okay? And, the Lakers are going to go through the same thing. They might be going through it right now. There are 2 teams in this league that will meet in the NBA championship, maybe 3. The Lakers will get there from the West. Either the Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics get there from the East. Lakers have, in the last couple months, they got 24 games. 14 of them will be on the road. Don't think the Lakers are going to lose, a nice share of those games. It's going to happen. And in December and January is kind of the time where you kind of get bored. February, March come around, and you got to get right back onto your feet, making sure everybody is back in line. So, these losses against Charlotte, the home loss against Houston, I'm not telling you that Boston doesn't want to win these games. But there's a time and place for all this. Okay, you take Houston Rockets against the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series. Who's going to win the series? Okay, I don't need to answer that question. And in this league, it's not an upset league. You have 4 teams that can arguably get to the finals. 4. That's it. 4. Who is going to beat who? There's only so many years you get the Denver Nuggets beating the Seattle Supersonics a 1-8 seed. Okay? There's only so many of those years. So, you're not going to get any upsets going to the finals. This isn't the NFL, where the worst team last year is the best team the next year. Or the NHL, where the 8 seed can get up because you have a hot goaltender and win a 7-game series. It's the NBA. In a 7-game series, the best team will come out. I'll tell you why. The other reason the Boston Celtics are not playing well right now. There's a couple reasons. James Posey and P.J. Brown. James Posey was huge for the Boston Celtics. P.J. Brown was large for the Boston Celtics. Those are 2 veteran guys who get it done off the bench. Every little thing. They scrap. They play hard. When they need to put somebody in line, they will. They play great defense. They know what defense is about. They don't need to play offense. They'll get you stops on the defensive end. And when there's problems, you have another couple veteran guys who you can talk to. Right now, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett are their main veterans in that locker room. Kind of like the Lakers. They got Kobe Bryant and Derek Fisher. There's a reason why these guys are struggling a lot. Of immaturity. There's a lot of issues in the locker room. You won't see it, you won't admit it because they're true professionals. But how much has Pau Gasol been there before? He hasn't. One time, and you saw what he did in the finals. Got overmatched by anybody they threw at him. Lamar Odom, how many times has he been there? He hasn't. He never will. Because Lamar Odom is not a winner. He was a loser in college, he was a loser in high school, and he's a loser in the NBA. Period. The guy will never win. He's not a winner. You have that around your locker room, it's different. Andrew Bynum, he's been in the league for 4 years. Now, I'm naming starters for you. I know Odom comes off the bench. Luke Walton, you want him to start? He's a starter. Vladimir Radmanovich, how many times has he been there? He hasn't. These are all guys who've been there last year. You saw what happened to him. Now, I'm not even talking about what's going to happen in the playoffs next year, or this coming year, excuse me. Or if they get to the finals, what's going to happen? Lakers have a better chance in the 7-game series against the Boston Celtics because the Boston Celtics are now a little bit more vulnerable. P.J. Brown and James Posey, you minus those 2 guys off your bench, it's a completely different team. It's so different, it's not even funny. Trust me. I saw the game at Christmas. I was there. It's not the same team. You're watching now live, it's not the same team. James Posey does the little things to win games. P.J. Brown did the little things to win games. So, don't go off and think the Boston Celtics they're not for real. They are for real. They're going to get there. They're at least going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I as a Laker fan, I'm not throwing this at you guys because I'm a Laker fan. I'm so realistic it's not even funny. I'm letting you know that in a 7-game series, the Lakers have a better chance standing against the Boston Celtics. And last year, the entire ESPN crew had the Lakers winning in 5, 6, and 7 games. My friends asked me, who do I think is going to win the series? I said Boston 5, maybe 6. I mean, come on. The Boston Celtics were 10 times better than the Lakers were. I don't care if the Atlanta Hawks took them to 7 games. I don't care if they had a little bit of issues with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Lakers last year, just their aggressiveness on the Boston Celtic end is completely different with the Lakers. Lakers are a little bit soft. They got a lot of talent. But, last year they just weren't there. And you minus an Andrew Bynum, and it's a completely different story. So throwing, the Lakers winning against the Celtics last year, not a chance. Not a chance. Lakers will not get past the Hornets, C-Dog says. No. Stop it. Listen, the Hornets, I'm not sure how the Lakers actually have so much success with the Hornets. They actually play them very well. Obviously, it wasn't evident last night. But they won the first 2 games in New Orleans. The Lakers did handedly. I mean, they won the first by 15, the next one by 20. And last year they did the same thing to them, which was, I don't know how and why. But they got great success. And, you know that Chris Paul's going to just get after him one time. And that's what he did. David West's going to go crazy on him. Or, Page's going to go crazy on him. New Orleans has a ton of talent. I will never question the talent on that New Orleans team. You got a great coach in Byron Scott. But in a 7-game series, it's a completely different thing. I think the Hornets are probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the West. I like Houston in the West. And that's it. I mean, there's a lot of diversity in the NBA now. You look at the NBA now, and a lot of the talent is coming out of the Eastern Conference now. Remember last year, the Eastern Conference was the worst conference by far. I mean, teams way under 500 got to the playoffs. An 8th seed in the Hawks took the Boston Celtics to 7 games. So, but now you look at Orlando, a ton of talent. You look at Cleveland with a ton of talent. You look at Detroit, who has a lot of talent. And you look at now the Boston Celtics with a lot of talent. I mean, that's the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference that can, do a lot of damage in the West now. I still don't think the West is, that much worse than the East. But there's some diversity in the NBA now. The Lakers, the Rockets, the Hornets, and, Portland is very good, very young. Phoenix is, by the way, Steve Nash is incredibly miserable in Phoenix. Buddy called me the other day, he works in Phoenix, said that Steve Nash wants out. He's a true professional. Not going to show anybody. He's not going to do a whole TO thing about it. But he can't stand Terry Porter's offense. Can't stand Terry Porter's system. It didn't think the Shaq trade was the right one for Phoenix. Slowed everything down. How do you have a guy like Steve Nash with all that talent and slow it down and throw it? That's what's going on in Phoenix. That's why they're like 8 games back of the Lakers. So, I don't know. There's issues in Phoenix. I don't know what Steve Kerr's doing out there. But he's, I think he wants to kind of show the city that he's got some balls. And even D'Antoni, man. You can't let D'Antoni leave. That guy was the Suns. I mean, he had everything to do with the success they had in Phoenix. Up and down offense, they score 120 points. That team would never win a championship. But now they're even further from winning a championship with Terry Porter and Shaquille O'Neal. D'Antoni would at least take you to the second round, if lucky, on a great series to the Western Conference Finals.